Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. O Muslims, now you have become the best ummah that has been created, that has been raised for the people, for the humanity at large. This ayah, we can say, is the replica of the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. كَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. This is how we have made you the best ummah, the middle ummah, so that you become witnesses unto the whole of humanity, and the Prophet and the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam becomes witness over you. Now that was the purpose of the founding of this ummah. Whenever you found a party, first of all you fix the aims and objects. What are the aims and objects of the party? If you are founding an anjuman, a society, what for? You have to lay down, put down in black and white. These are the aims and objects. What for this big anjuman, this big society, this big ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why has it been founded? What was the aims and objects? The aims and objects. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. And in other words, the same thing. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ. Now you have become the best ummah. You are qualified. You have qualified for this position of the best ummah that has been created, that has been raised for the mankind, whole of mankind. أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. What does it mean? Other people live for themselves, for their nations, for their countries. You have to live for the whole of mankind, for the benefit of the whole of mankind, to convey the message of Allah to the whole of mankind, to try to save the whole of the mankind from the fire of hell in the hereafter. That is the mission for which you have to live. You have to live for others. Other people live for themselves, for their own benefits, for their own welfare. But you have to work, you have to live, and you have to die for the sake of the whole of the humanity, to save them from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. The same thing. You have to enjoin whatever is good, whatever is correct. وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. And you have to forbid from whatever is wrong, whatever is unjust. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And keep faith in Allah. Have tawakkul on Allah. Have confidence on Him. And you have faith in Him. وَلَوْ آمَنَ أَهْلُ الْكِتَابِ لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ. And if the people of the book had also believed, it was much better for them. They would have saved themselves on the day of judgment. مِنْهُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. There are some among them who have the iman. A few actually, they embraced Islam also. There are in them maybe potentially mu'mins who could have accepted and embraced Islam afterwards. مِنْهُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَأَكْثَرُهُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. But you know, the majority of them, they are of the rebellious nature. They are the transgressors. لَن يَضُرُّوكُمْ إِلَّا أَذًى. O Muslim, don't fear them. They won't be able to harm you except some timely, temporary and trifling hurt. لَن يَضُرُّوكُمْ إِلَّا أَذًى وَإِن يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ يُوَلُّوكُمُ الْأَدْبَارَ. And if they dare to go to war against you, to come in the battlefield against you, they are sure to show you their backs. They will turn their backs and run away. ثُمَّ لَا يُنْصَرُونَ. And then they will not be helped from any quarter. ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ. Now this is the same ayah which we have read in Surah Al-Baqarah. ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ وَالْمَسْكَنَةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَيَقْتُلُونَ النَّبِيِّينَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ. It appeared there in the end of this 7th section. With a little difference, this ayah and the essence and the subject of matter of this ayah has been repeated here. ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ. On them humiliation has been struck. Humiliation has been heaped. أَيْنَمَا سُقِفُوا. Wherever they will be found. إِلَّا بِحَبْلٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَحَبْلٍ مِّنَ النَّاسِ. Now here we have an exception. Except when they are in the bondage of some covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe they revert to the covenant. Then you know they will become an exception. Or they are in the bondage of a covenant or treaty with other people. This is the condition today. They are living under the protection of the Christians. They themselves are nothing. They can't survive. But except for the help that they are getting from the whole of the Christian world. Now the matter of the fact is that they are actually overriding the Christian world. But this is a very temporary phenomenon. Very soon the tables are going to be turned. But at presently, they are controlling the policies of the Christian world. So to say, they have conquered the Christian world. First of all, they used the West, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. They were their tools. They were using them. But now they have conquered even the Catholic world. Because, as you know, the Pope had absolved them from the charge of crucifying Jesus. By a decree, the Pope has said that they are not responsible. The Jews of today, they are not to blame. Number two, now the Vatican has recognized Israel, and there is going to be a diplomatic mission from Vatican to Jerusalem for Israel. So these events are casting their shadows, and the things that have been prophesied by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are now coming very soon. Anyhow, the present condition is that they are under the patronage and protection of the Christian world. إِلَّا بِحَبْلٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَحَبْلٍ مِّنَ النَّاسِ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ, and they incurred the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَسْكَنَةُ, and weakness has been and humiliation has been heaped upon them. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ, this is because they have been denying and belying the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَقْتُلُونَ الْأَنْبِيَاءَ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ, and they have been killing and murdering even the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any reason, without any fault of theirs. ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ, and to this end they have reached. Why? Because they had been breaking and transgressing the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they had been crossing the limits of Sharia. Lesu sawa, again the same ayah. All of them are not equal. Lesu sawa, all of them are not equal, not similar. Min ahlil kitabi ummatun qa'imatun yatluna ayatillahi ana al-layli wa hum yasjudun. Among these people of the book, there are some individuals who are upright and who recite during the nights the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they pass their nights in prostrations. So there were individuals, a few individuals, but they were there. Just as in the Muslim Ummah, there are individuals who are very pious. खाल इस कौम में अब तक नजर आते हैं, वो करते हैं अश्के सहर गाही से जो जालिम वुजू. There are very pious individuals. But the hukmul akthar hukmul kull. What is the condition of the maximum number, maximum majority of the ummah? So the whole ummah will be regarded on the basis of that majority. That is the position here, and that was the position 1400 years ago of the Jews. لَيْسُوا سَوَاءً مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ أُمَّةٌ قَائِمَةٌ يَتْلُونَ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ آنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ وَهُمْ يَسْجُدُونَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and they believe in Allah and also the last day. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and they enjoin whatever is good. وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and they forbid whatever is bad. وَيُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ, and they compete with each other and vie with each other in piety and in acts of virtue. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ, and definitely they are from among the pious people. وَمَا يَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَلَنْ يُكْفَرُوهُ, and whatever good they will commit, whatever good deeds they will earn, they will not be deprived of their reward. وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالْمُتَّقِينَ, Allah very well knows these people who are really God-fearing, who are really pious. وَمَا يَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَلَنْ يُكْفَرُوهُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالْمُتَّقِينَ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَنْ تُغْنِيَ عَنْهُمْ أَمْوَالُهُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. On the contrary, those who have adopted kufr, who have committed kufr, who have chosen to remain kafir, their wealth and properties and their progeny, their children, will not be able to save them from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, and they are the people of fire, and they will remain and dwell in that fire forever. مثل ما ينفقون في هذه الحياة الدنيا, the likeliness of that which they are spending in this world, in this life of this world, كمثل ريح فيها سر, it is like a very whirlwind in which there is intense cold. أصابت حرث قوم, and that wind fell on the farm, on the tillage of a nation, ظلموا أنفسهم, who had wronged themselves, فأهلكته, and they destroyed the whole of the tillage, the whole of the crop. وَمَا ظَلَمَهُمُ اللَّهُ وَلَكِنْ أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not wronged these people, but they have been doing wrong to themselves. Now this infaq, which is mentioned here about those people who were not believing in Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this can be of two types. Every person does some act of charity, howsoever bad he might be, but he, for the contentment of his own conscience, he does something. But these things are not acceptable in the eyes of Allah unless a person has real iman and he is sincere in committing and in doing that act of charity. So this is like, one man might be hoping that I have some good deeds with me, but on the day of judgment he finds he has nothing. Just as a storm comes and a crop is burnt away. Number two, they were spending their money, lots of their money, for obstructing the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is a reference actually to their spending of money, because the mu'mineen, they were spending for the cause of Allah, and these kuffar, they were spending for the cause of kufr, for their own ideals. So actually this simile is meant for them. These are two possibilities. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tattakhidhu bitanatan min dunikum. O you who believe, don't take intimate friends for yourself except from your own self. You should have them from among the Muslims. La ya'lunakum khabala. They don't spare any pains for you. They are always striving to give you pains and injuries. They are always against you. Waddu ma'anittum. Whatever hurts you, they like it. Qad badatil baghwa'u min afwahihim. Their enmity has become evident from their own mouths. Whatever they have been speaking, whatever they have been saying, from that it is evident that there is enmity in their hearts. وَمَا تُخْفِي صُدُورُهُمْ أَكْبَرُ. And the amount of enmity that their hearts are hiding, that is much more great. Only, a tip of the iceberg. Whatever is apparent and evident from what they say, it is the tip of the iceberg. The real iceberg is in their hearts. They have the big and great enmity for you, O Muslims. قَدْ بَيَّنَّا لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. We have made our ayat, our guidance clear for you, for in kuntum taqilun, if only you can understand. Antum la tuhibbunahu. You are those who love them. Wala yuhibbunakum, but they don't love you. Muslims were of good nature. They thought, about these are human beings. We must be good to all humans. How antum haula tuhibbunahum. You love them. Wala yuhibbunakum. They don't love you. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ كُلِّهِ. And you have faith in all the book, Torah, Injil and Quran. You believe in all the books. وَإِذَا لَقُوكُمْ قَالُوا آمَنَّا. When they meet you, they say, we also believe. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا. And when they are in privacy, أَغْضُوا عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَنَامِنَا أَنَامِلَا مِنَ الْغَيْظِ. They bite at their tips of the fingers from rage over you. قُلْ مُوتُوا بِغَيْظِكُمْ. Say to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you perish with your own rage. You burn with your own fire of rage and enmity. Inna Allah alimun bi dhati sudur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very well knows what is there in the hearts of the people, what is there in the chests of the people. In tamsaskum hasanatun tasuhum. If some good thing comes to you, something with which you are happy, it is bad for them. It vexes them. وَإِن تُصِبْكُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ. If there is some trouble for you, some painful thing happens for you, يَفْرَحُوا بِهَا. They are very happy, they rejoice. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا. But even then, if you show patience and if you have taqwa, two things. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. The same thing here. In tasbiru, if you have perseverance and patience, and if you have real taqwa, لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ كَيْدُهُمْ شَيْئًا. their conspiracies, their plannings, their plotting, everything will go in vain. They will not be able to do you any permanent harm. Inna Allah bima ya'maluna muheet. Allah Ta'ala is encircling, has encircled whatever they are doing. They cannot go beyond that circle. They cannot go beyond the will of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'anil Azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikril hakim.